Hello, good evening, this is Diecast Loon. I hope you're all doing well. And today I went out diecast hunting, and there was nothing around as usual at the moment. I think the toy stores, or at least where I live, are waiting for some stuff to come in, I heard. But whilst I was out and about, I got a good friend of mine has recently just opened up, or say recently opened up. He's been there a while now. I've just not had a chance to see him yet. His own sort of, I don't want to call it a second-hand shop, but it's sort of like retro sort of toys, skateboards, anything retro basically. But he had some diecast there, which was some good news because I was in the mood to pick up some diecast, and plus, as you all know, I like restoring stuff. So this is, as you can see, the cars in the background, some of the stuff I picked up a couple of Majorettes and some Matchbox, and another one that I've never come across before, or at least I've heard of it, but I've never owned one, but I'll get to that at the end of the video. But anyway, so let's take a look at what I picked up, and I got these all for a very reasonable price. I paid £1 a pop, which is really cool. So the first one we're going to take a look at is this. Now this, I believe, is called Turbo 2. It is a Matchbox, pull back and go. You can see it's got the large, got big Goodyear tyres on the back. But it's made in, so it's copyright 1987. And as you can see, it says Matchbox Turbo 2. And if we put the camera down a little bit, you can see that it does still go. So that is pretty cool. It's got a little bit of a wonky wheel, which I can sort out and give it a bit of a clean up. But my boy really likes this, so my boy's going to be having this. But nonetheless, I never had one of these. Excuse me, I never had one of these when I was a kid because, well, I didn't. But nonetheless, it's cool to find something that's from the sort of early mid sort of 80s that still actually works. These are usually destroyed by now, and I'm just trying to think what sort of car it reminds me of. Not quite sure really. It's got sort of like a, I don't know, MR2 sort of, not quite sure look to it, TR7. Anyway, so that was one I picked up, which I thought was quite cool. And then I come across this Matchbox Land Rover 90, which, like I said, most of these cars I will restore at some point. It's in not bad condition, but I will give us a bit of a restore at some point. So this is going to the box of cars to restore, which I have many. I have got a real backlog of cars to restore at the minute. So you can see Matchbox Land Rover, it just says 90, I believe. But pretty cool nonetheless. And it just says made in, I think it says Thailand. I can't quite see. Got a bit of a light reflection going on. Yeah, Thailand. 1987 copyright. But I do have a nice version of this, or the same casting, a newer version. So this is the up-to-date version of it. So pretty much the same. I know who has got a fine collection of these is Tyrone from Building the Ultimate Matchbox Collection. He likes these. He's got a fine collection of these little Land Rovers. I only have two at the moment, but like I said, this is a decent version, and at some point soon this one will look like this too. I'll restore that, but that's a pretty cool find. And then we got this Majorette Johnny Walker's little van. And this is one I did have as a kid. I had the same van, not in this livery. I think mine was just a plain blue or red. I can't remember now what the colour was, but I know I had one of these vans. But pretty cool. And so it's got opening doors. But again, not in too bad a condition. And like I said, this will get restored at some point. Basically, everything I picked up today will be all restoration projects. Sorry, this one's pretty interesting. This, I believe, is a, what have a look again. It says Saab, number 85 Saab. I think it's a Sonnet 3, made in England, 1973 copyright. And this is in, the wheels are in remarkably good condition for such. The car itself is pretty play worn, but This, I think, I'm going to be doing this one next. I may possibly, when the weather's better next week, this might be something that I'm going to definitely have a look at, having a go at. But you see it's got a little opening back on it, which is in very nice condition. And a typical 70s Matchbox, all them sort of leery colours and yellows and, you know, but that's no problem because I like them. I have a newer version here when Matchbox was going for a cheaper range, when they went for a sort of a more cheaper range in the 80s. Excuse me. And I think Universal Toys own them. I'm not quite sure. This is called a Super GT, 1985 copyright, but it is the same casting. This one's in far, far better condition. I wish this was in that condition, but unfortunately it's not. But they did go for a cheapy stage. Still has suspension, rolls nice, but they went for a cheaper stage Matchbox. No interiors, no see-through windows. But I just thought I'd show that it is the same car. So stay tuned, because that one will be getting restored pretty soon. And I also have another one from that, as I call it, the sort of economical range, I suppose you could call it, from when Matchbox was going through. I call it the cheaper range. And this is the Super, it says, just calls it Super GT again. But I'll just pause for 2 secs. And I'm back, and I think I cut myself off there. I should have got this out earlier, but it's in a little baggie, so I'm just trying to get the bag open, so you have to bear with me a little bit. I do apologise for this. But here is the same casting again. This is the earlier version, which I have shown before, and this is the number, I'm trying to look, I think this is number 32, Maserati. But this is the same casting. It's like I said, it's what I call, when it was going through there, more of a cheaper feel to it, when they were going for a more, you know, making them cheaper, which I understand. I mean, it's still pretty cool casting. It's got nice suspension on it, rolls nice. It's in pretty good nick, but it is that same car, as you can see. But this is a Maserati, and this is a Maserati, but they just call this, I think they even got this thing, look, they've got the same plates. Just like I said, they just call this the Super GT, which is pretty cool. But anyway, let's put them to one side. And then this was a pretty cool find. This sort of late 80s, I presume, Mustang GT, which is in pretty good condition. I may leave this one alone. I might just give the bottom a clean up. Maybe give these wheels a bit of a, might restore the wheels on it and just leave it, because this one's actually not in too bad a condition. It's just dirty and tatty. I may just clean it up. I might actually just leave this one alone, just clean it up. As like opening feature, you can see it's got the Ford badge on the top of the rocker cover there, the engine. And again, it's still got good suspension, still rolls nice. So that was a cool find too. And then this, like I said, this is one I've not had before, this particular model maker. And it's called a Husky. It's from a company called, it's Husky diecast. This little, so look, it is a little Volkswagen pickup, they call it, but it looks like some sort of service vehicle, or maybe a vehicle for when you're filming. I don't quite know, but it is still intact, which is pretty good. A little bit bent. But this is from the early 60s, sort of 63-ish. Husky was a brand name for a line of diecast toys and vehicles. As far as I know, I didn't do my research probably, but and they are manufactured by a company called, I think it was called Metoy, something like that. And I do believe the company went on to become Corgi Juniors in 1970, and they also did another line called Corgi Rockets. But this is what went on to become Corgi, as far as I'm aware of. If I'm wrong, please comment and let me know. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool. But like I said, these are from sort of that 63-ish. But they were, you know, they had suspension, and they were sort of like a cheap version of, in a way, of like Matchbox in a way. They got the same sort of old style wheels that like the older Matchbox had. But this is something I'm going to have a go at restoring at some point. Excuse me. But I have watched other people restore these, and these can be a bit fiddly just because they were, you know, everything was so thin and light on these. So that'll be, even though it's a simple casting, that'll be a bit of a challenge to restore at some point, only because you've got to be so careful. But I thought that was the star of the show tonight. I thought that was a pretty cool find. So that's Husky diecast. Or Huskies. It's Husky, sorry. But, and that's it really. So, this is the finds from today. So I can get them all into view. And there we go. And like I said, I'm going to restore all of these at some point. Put them onto the list of other things to restore. And like I said, I think I'm going to definitely do this one if the weather get a break in the weather, because I've got this colour blue. So this will just be a straight resto, literally just take the pieces, clean up, and just a straight resto, just for the pure fun. But with that, please like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for more restos and wheel swaps and customs and other various unboxings, and I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching.